Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching this video around the world right now. My name is Andrei Sachuk, and today I'm going to have some fun with Bitcoin analysis. Have you ever thought about Bitcoin analysis in web analytics tools? Basically, nothing is impossible if you have Adobe Analytics in place, and I'm going to prepare a short overview about Bitcoin data in Analysis Workspace. I have a couple of metrics. The one is for average USD market price across Bitcoin exchanges. And another metric is minus revenue divided by the number of transactions. So now let's start. First, I will switch to a custom date range to cover only the days that I have data for. And the next thing, I would look for the metrics that I mentioned and we'll add them to the canvas. So these are two metrics. I will switch off anomalies, percentages, and also background to make my table slightly easier to read. And as usual, we need to add a visualization. In this case, I'm going to look at the trend line for both metrics. And also let's disable anomalies here as well. So now we have two lines, and the very first change that I want to make with the settings of this chart is to enable dual axis. So this is the checkbox that you may want to use when you have two metrics which have a big difference in absolute numbers. There we go. So resize the chart. This is basically shows me these two metrics, and just to not forget, I will add a short description for this visualization, so those who will be using this maybe will have questions what these metrics are, and this will help them to get the idea. And also, as the best practice, I have renamed the chart. The next thing that I want to look at is whether there is any correlation between Bitcoin USD market price and, for example, my traffic on the site. So what I'm going to do now is first I'm going to disable the second metric that I don't need to know right now. So this is a good trick. So if you haven't known about that, so you can just click on the metric in the agenda area and it will be disabled. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add one of the metrics for my traffic, and I will look for page views and will add this metric to my table. And now this is what we have, and I have added a couple of them. And what I'm going to do next is to enable another setting in the chart, which is called normalization. This will be helpful if you are looking for correlation. So in my case, the correlation is missing. This is obvious, but anyway, it was just an interesting thing that I wanted to check. So probably we don't need to look at the traffic metric and correlation to Bitcoin. So what else we can do here is let's take a look at the averages of USD market price per month. So in this case, I will prepare a new table. I will just make a copy of the existing table. This will be easier. And I will get rid of the second metric. And the next what I'm going to do is to look for month dimension, and I will click on this arrow to see the values that I have in this dimension, and I will pick January and put it under the metric. So by doing this, I can now see all the days in January 2018, and I can see how much Bitcoin costed. And now I'm going to right click on the metric and create new metric from selection. And in this menu, I will select mean. So this will work as average. And just need to wait for a while. So there we go. So this metric is currently showing incorrect numbers, and we will need to update it. I will go to the edit of this metric and we'll uncheck include zeros, just in case if I do not have some data for some days. And then I will also remove the segment, so I don't need my segment here, and I will now save it. This is I will do this average BTC to USD, and that's it. So now I will save it and also make it public, so that I will be able to choose it from the left menu going forward. There we go. So I will look for average metric, and now I'm going to add it under my month and delete all the other metrics. So basically what I've done was a trick to quickly create the average for the desired metric. Instead of making it from scratch, I have used a context menu that helped me to select the mean metric, and then I did some manipulations and prepared the average metric. So now it's showing me the average value for January. So what I'm going to do next is to add this metric a few times on the right, and for each metric I will be linking the month. So this is what I'm going to do. So first I will make the metric on the top, then I will add this metric to the right, and I will make this a few times. So, and the next step is to add months under each of the added column. So it will be February, March, and April. There we go. So now we have averages for each month, and now I'm going to add another visualization to show it. So I will be using the horizontal bar visualization, and I will resize it first, and then I will select the cells that I want to be displayed on the chart, and I will also use the lock selection checkbox, so that afterwards if I deselect the cells or select other cells, my chart won't change. This is another trick that you may want to use. So now I have a comparison, and following again the best practice, I will rename this chart Bitcoin by month, Bitcoin average price by month. And the only probably confusion here is that you have day here, and this is something that I can't change, since this is the name of dimension that I have in the table. So what I'm going to add next is the change between month averages. So just as in one of the previous videos, I will repeat it so that you will know how to do that. So I will be using the summary change visualization. I will add it here, and I will link it to my second table. I will get rid of the legend, and now I just need to select the cells that I want to compare. In my case, I will add March and April so that I will see the growth for April. Basically, it's negative growth. And again, I will need to lock this selection, and I will call it April growth. And if I want to add another visualization for example, March, I will need to make a copy, then unlock this visualization. And now I will need to select February and March, and again lock it and rename it. So as you can see, this is a very quick way how you can prepare multiple visualizations based on a single table. Instead of adding lots of different tables, it's much more convenient to have one table and link a few different visualizations to it. And in this case, you will need to use the lock setting. Otherwise, every time when you will deselect the cell or select other cells, the charts will be showing another piece of information which you don't want to have. So finally, let's remove the tables, basically hide them. And there we go. So we have a pretty much interesting visualizations that now we can share with our colleagues if you want to. But obviously the purpose of this video was to show you not how you can analyze Bitcoin, but to demonstrate you a few other things, tips and tricks, how you can lock the charts, how you can use multiple charts linked with a single table, how you can filter your chart. Again, one more time I will remember this. So if you click in the legend, you can either enable or disable a metric to be shown on the chart. And these are a few tricks. You can also recognize that in the settings we have dual axis enabled, and when you do the analysis you can either use that option or another option which is called normalization. So this is what I wanted to show you. Hope you like this Bitcoin analysis in Adobe Analytics Analysis Workspace. Let me know if you want to have some other type of analysis in Analysis Workspace, and this will help me to prepare the next videos. Thank you for watching, and share your comments. This is much appreciated. Thank you and bye.